Welcome, everyone, to Courageous Creative Conquerors. This is Jean Voice Dart. It's my belief that everyone has a gift of creative expression. We were born to express ourselves to stay healthy and happy. Whether you are planting a garden, writing a story, building a cabinet, sewing a scarf, or singing a song, what matters is expressing from the heart. And the creative and expressive arts are a healthy coping strategy that shifts us from trauma to triumph. So join me as we listen and learn key tips and techniques from our special guest and courageous creative conqueror. My special guest today is Stefanie Boucher, artist, creative writer, and poet. Hi, everybody. I'm Jean Voice Dart, and this is Courageous Creative Conquerors. And I have with me today someone very special and dear to my heart, Stefanie Boucher. And she's going to talk about art with families and how important that is. Welcome, Stefanie.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here because we're going to be talking about something that's really important. So, how would you define creativity?
Creativity, I think, is just it's a flow and ebb that you just feel in your body. That's something that is your own. There's an outlet. There's so many different outlets for every individual, between whether it's techie or not. If it's a technical form of art or dance or just anything that allows you to feel a sense of release, I think.
Yes, I agree 100%. To express ourselves. What makes you a courageous creative?
I think that it's just having the life experiences that I've had and the interactions that I've had with life and death and everything in between, that it just has, I've come to realize it's a necessity in my life that you can't, it's just part of the whole existence, eating and drinking water and supplementing yourself. It's just another way of bringing that growth in and letting you flourish, and I see it with my kids when they're creating and they're just getting lost in it and their finished product and how they light up and embrace it. And it's just a wonderful.
That's what that's what I really love about you and your family. And how important that alone time is with the arts, that time to express, and you do it. Yeah.
It's a thing that I neglected to do while I was going through my own cancer and dealing with my daughter's cancer. And I think had I embraced that a lot more, then I would have been able to express feelings that I had no words for, and just have a release that I didn't allow myself to do, because I was either too tired, and said, oh no, it's not a good time, or there's just too much going on, and why would I, and there was a guilt factor too, like, why would I be creative when this is happening? And instead, yes, I should be looking at it, I need to be creative because this is happening. I need to have this outlet so that I don't go off in different ways and not release the energy and have it released in ways that we don't want it to, right? So it's a good way of expressing the pain or the happiness or the joy or whatever it is that's going on. And it's a way to just let it flow,
Yes.
And I'm seeing how important it is to other people that are just trying it out, that it's fun, or as adults, we stop ourselves from feeling those kid things, the things that we think are just for kids, like picking up rocks and throwing them, just that sense of joy, that just the freeness of not having to worry about anything and just being in the moment and just letting it ride out. And whether that's gardening or for some it's gardening, but just having that outlet and making it a priority, I think, is super important.
Yes. My definition of creative arts is very, very big. You know, cake decorating and all these, making clothes and all of these things that we do that we have the opportunity to express ourselves. And I know you're also a wonderful writer. You write poetry and you express yourself through writing. Will we get a chance to maybe hear you read a little bit of that?
Oh, maybe I could
I would
find one.
love, I would
I
love
wrote
that.
I wrote one when I was a kid that I memorized.
You do? Okay, share that right now.
See if I can remember it. My memory is short. It's good but short, but I remember these things. So I collect rocks. Some are big, some are small. No matter what their size, I love them all. My mother used to say, get rid of those rocks. But what she didn't know is that I hid them in my socks.
Oh, that's so cute.
I
That's
did
right.
that probably, yeah, it was in elementary school, and I had to come up with a poem, and that was it. And I just memorized it.
Very cute. But when
Yeah.
I mean, you're one of our dedicated attendees of the creative community calls that we do twice a week, and often you'll either do some art or your children will be there. You can do art together, but often maybe you'll be writing, and sometimes alone writing. And really, you'll say, "I'm having a tough day. I'm going to write," and it's not like this little poem about rocks in your socks. It's more profound and more heartfelt and a lot of stuff coming out. And I really applaud you for that because you're one of the people that's not afraid to let go with using the arts. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I think that I've really grasped the importance, and so that the
Yeah.
fear has kind of just dissipated, because the joy is just so much that, why let the fear interfere with the beauty?
Yeah. Yeah. And just have fun and just let go. And you never know. A lot of times you and the others will show up and say, I'll say, well, what are you going to do today in our creative time? And people will say, I don't know, and you'll just have a bunch of stuff in front of you and you'll see what happens. And maybe it's a combination of a picture and writing on top of it, or what is it? We don't know. Or maybe you're using material and cutting and pasting or whatever. We never know. We're just
Yeah,
having fun. Well, let's
exactly.
take a look at some of your art. We'll start with maybe your early teen years here and look at some things.
Sure. Yeah, I was never a confident artist, because I didn't go to school to do any of it. And when I did go to school to do some, I was interrupted and my teacher would take over. For example, this one right here, I did in high school. It was one of our art projects to draw a lady, and we did that. And then I asked for some assistance on to help me with the feathers, but she went and did the feathers herself. And
You do.
it was my painting, but besides the feathers, so I did everything but the beautiful feathers. And most of my work, I didn't hang or anything, but my mother used to find it, and this one here, she got laminated. It's just on a piece of poster board, and she just laminated it and hung it in her bathroom wall.
I love it. And I love that she is kind of winking one eye there. It looks very, very, uh, it's like a personality is coming through. Your personality is coming through there. I like it a lot. Well, let's quickly go on to this next one here.
So this one here is one that I did, just a finger paint picture. I had no idea what I was coming up with, and then this is what happened. And again, this is another one my mom took and laminated and hung on her wall, because I was going to discard it.
And again, you're not very old here. This is, you said somewhere between 13 and 15, these paintings. And
Yeah.
it's just wonderful to see that that creative spark was there at an early age. So let's go on to
Hmm.
the next one.
Probably a few years older, but yeah, it was one I did that reminded me of when I lived in Vancouver. And I don't know. I probably wasn't happy with something of it. And that was another one Mom framed and took
Aren't
over.
moms wonderful?
Yes, yes. So she has a bunch of my art in her home that everyone gets to see.
So here we go. This is just lovely. It's just so soft and subtle. The sunset, or is it a sunrise? Sunset?
It depends on your perspective.
Okay.
As I did it. It's Bob Ross is one of my inspirations, and this is one of Bob Ross painting that he had done, and I did it in acrylic. And my mother loved it so much that because I made one for my stepfather, and my mother loved it so much that I made her one also. That's why I have pictures of all those pictures, because they're at my mother's.
Yeah. And you're experiencing that right now. You're a mother, and your children are providing you with lots of art, and you're encouraging and displaying them. That's great. Here's a new one here. This is a sunrise, I would imagine, or a sunset.
Yeah,
Orange, beautiful.
yeah. Just spending time at the cottage, and just I remember this moment because I was like, I haven't done this in a while, and I brought some up. I'm just going to sit here. I don't even know what I'm going to create, but I'm just going to create something, and this is what I created.
This is another one that your mother framed, is that right?
Yes, another one that she
Oh,
did.
wow. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's just your a waterfall with some rocks. It was another picture that reminded me of Vancouver, because where I lived, just behind, there was a little path that I would walk my dog, and about 10 minutes away, it was a beautiful river bank with water. It was a beautiful little waterfall through it, and it was just gorgeous. So
I particularly love this because it's so different than your other ones, and more abstract. It's just so beautiful. Is this
thank you.
near? Were you inspired by something, or was this just free expression?
This was just another free expression.
I
Yeah.
think it's one of your best. I mean, I
Well,
really like
thank you. Thank you.
And this one, it's a little bit blurry here, but I
Yeah.
really like the texturing, and I like that. Is that is that your cabin? Is that something personal?
Yeah, I have my dad we have property, and he lived at the property, and so 1 month out of the whole year, August, I would go and visit him for the summer. And it was just a total opposite of home, because home was strict, organized. We were very clean and neat. Everything was in its place. Everything had a place. And whereas with my dad, it was we had no running water, no electricity. We lived in the bush, and we just played and had fun and got to be free and just enjoy nature and animals. And so it was just happy times. And this
Yeah.
just is like a reminder of that. And I use different textures with different art of different items, and I don't even remember what at the moment, but yeah, so that's
Yes.
part of that.
It looks like a fun painting to paint.
Yeah, it was one that I did when the kids were doing. They're like, "What are you gonna paint?" I said, "I don't know," and that was one of
I
the.
think were you in our group? Because I
Yes,
remember
yes,
you held it up. Yeah.
yes. I have it here along with all the others. Yes, yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, yes. All the groups we have. I don't know where my
Oh, how cool.
photo is, so we have them.
All right. So we have a few pen and ink sketches here.
I got myself a little sketchbook, and that's where they are in. So I have all my little pictures, and those are where those are from.
Oh, that's
Because
such a great thing. Yeah, I just interviewed Nazanin Hamati from Germany, and she does the same thing. She carries this sketch pad around with her, and she showed me some of hers. So that's a really good thing to do. I think I need to do that. And so
yeah,
you just stop and just sketch wherever you are, and
yeah.
to keep that memory, the happy memory. Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh. Oh, wow.
There's some different ones.
Is that a
Yeah.
dog?
It's a kind of like it's a black and white wolf.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's fabulous. I love
Yeah.
it.
So
Show
and
me, show me a couple other ones.
some are great and some are not so great. Like this one is not.
I love it. What are you talking about?
And then I
There's
think
that
we have,
critical critic coming in and trying to fix
yes,
it. You know,
yes,
and
definitely.
I'm all about just throw the critic out the door and just have fun. Who cares?
Yeah, here's a nice one.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
So yeah, I just said, why not, right? Because like
Now
we
that
don't
is so
have
much
to
fun.
have
That doodling thing, that's really fun.
we
Yeah.
don't have to have a certain style or a certain method or one specific way of doing it, like it's great to be creative and learn new ways of.
Oh, wonderful. And my mother was a doodler. She was always doodling all over the little desk where she kept the phone. When people are talking, she's doodling all over everything. And I would love
Yeah,
to explore and look on there. You know, that's where they kept bills and papers and things. And there's these doodles all over from her. I like
yes.
looking at the doodling. Yeah. Show us that again, that
So
heart.
the last one, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's some of us that are just innately want to doodle. My mom used to doodle because she
Yeah.
wanted to be creative, but she never felt she was creative, and she never did.
We're all
But
creative.
she would
Yeah.
exactly. But she would doodle. But that would be a doodle.
That is so cool. Look at that. Yeah, that's
Uh,
well, let's go back here. Tell me about this.
yeah. So this one reminds me of family and connection and being close and and the fact that they just come from nothing is what just it inspires me to keep going and inspires me to tell others to keep just doodling, keep drawing, keep being creative. If you don't have an outlet, some people are like, I don't know what to do. Well, picking up a pen and a paper is just a great start.
And here's the doodling. We mentioned that.
Yeah. And that one was with the kids. We did that one together.
You did that was a family art
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Family
Oh,
doodle.
oh wow. How
Yeah.
much fun is that?
Yeah.
And here we go on to the family. We got these silly, cute photos here. This is Cheyenne, is that right?
Yes.
And this is Storm. And they are just your pride and joy. And you are such a great mother introducing them to the arts. And you're showing they are art here. They are the art. So we're going to look at some photos of them making art quickly here. This is Storm. And they come to our creative community calls we have on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And they make art together as a family. Here's another one with Storm.
They just love it. It's a space for us always to, because I homeschool. And so it's a really great place to have a set time for us to come together, to know that it's happening. And Cheyenne and Storm are always very excited and ready to take it on, and be a part of it. So it makes it so enjoyable.
And this is Cheyenne. And this is one of the rare photos of her. She's doesn't like to be photographed so much. And here she is painting. And here's another one here. And is this one Cheyenne's or is this Storm's?
This one is Storm and I. And Shy might have done a bit, but Storm and I this one.
Okay.
Rainbow Field, I think it's called.
Beautiful. Okay, so tell me about this. You're actually making together as a family the painting that's behind your head right now, the painting.
Yep, this one right here. Yeah, this was just absolutely fun. So we were outside. It was a beautiful October day. It was October 26th. And I had the canvas, we had some time, and I put some garbage bags on us, and we went out there and I said, here, girls, we've got a bunch of paint. We're going to just make a painting. Now, what are we going to do? I don't know, whatever. We're going to do it. And this is what came up. And we used some pine cones. We grabbed some pine cones and made the little swipes and the lines, and it was just a lot of fun.
So we're talking about art and just being in that place and leaving all your troubles behind, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it just it's a way to escape, and that doesn't harm anybody, and that can, bring a nice result.
Now, didn't you tell me that maybe I'm mistaken, but I thought you told me that you were doing some things in the community with art. Is that right?
Well, I want to bring it I want to try to get a community of us together, of moms and kids together, so that we could just have time to be creative in a creative space and just learn from each other different crafts and different things. And so I'm looking into seeing where I can do that. I think it's important that we spend time together with our family and share some creative time just to be creative. There was a girl I saw last week, and she was 7. I think she was 7, and she made a sand bowl. In the sand, she made a little clay dish, and she came around, showed everybody, and she was just so proud of it. And I was like, I think you would like pottery, and you just like, is this even something that the parents would consider? Because if they're not artsy, then sometimes it's just oh, well, it's not something that a parent thinks of if they're not the artsy type, that it's something that maybe this is what the child needs, is a way of expressing herself, And
Personally, I think we are all artsy and creative, and it's just finding that one way that we love, or more than one. For me, it's multiple ways. I love them all. Do you want to talk about Cheyenne and her journey and how important this is for her, this doing the art?
Yeah, I think having her, she had brain cancer, medulloblastoma, which is a type of brain cancer in the back of the liquid part of your brain. So in that way, we were quite lucky, because she was diagnosed the first time at 2.5, and then and then it came again at just over 1.5 years ago. She rang her bell in August, and she's mentally all there and everything, and her thoughts are all there, but like me, we forget things. And but it's a great way for her to express herself too, because we're not dumb or anything, but we just sometimes get lost in our words and we can't find them. And so it's a great way to just forget everything and go play. And she loves drawing pictures of people and toys, like different. She loves octonauts, so she does her hat. Oh, I wish I had shown that. She did a perfect quasi. She had a Mickey Mouse hat, and we're not crazy about Mickey Mouse so much, but she liked the hat, and then she decided to change it. So now it's an Octonauts hat. So she made quasi up here, and she wrote Octonauts.
Oh yeah, I think you did
Octonauts
show me
on here, and so now she has an Octonauts hat, because her dexterity, she has issues with her dexterity, right, and movement and stuff. But when it comes to her art, she has no problem. Like this is, I'll just show you. Here's a picture of Jared.
Yeah, love it. Look at that.
Oh, she's
very cool.
Very talented. Yes.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you read another poem to us?
So, a few years back, we lost my stepdaughter, Michelle, and to suicide. And
So sorry.
So I had to express it some way and say goodbyes. And so I wrote a poem to her. It's called Michelle. Our hearts are breaking for a love gone too soon. Seems there are no words to express the loss, the ruin. So many lives touched by a woman who was loved so much. Now she is in the arms of God, to love and hold dear, to be free and without fear, to protect and watch over us. Till we meet again, we love you so much. The world lost a good daughter, love and friend. Though this is not the end, till we meet again. Another time, another place, where we all the same race, filled with love, joy, and pleasure, You are a bright star, a treasure. You are loved so much. Our hearts you all touched. You will be remembered as a star, touched by many and so far. You will never roam far from our hearts. This you will always be a part. You are a great love lost. Such is the cost. Till we meet again, a great daughter, love and friend. Heaven has gained an angel, a star. You will forever be remembered for the beauty you are, a bright shining star. We will miss you. Till then, we will love you forever and always. Amen.
That makes me cry. That's really beautiful. And thank you for sharing that, because I know there are many people out there that they've lost a loved one recently. And how helpful was that to you to write that during your time of grieving?
I think that is the time that I express myself most in poetry, is when I'm grieving something. And it just, it comes out, just flows, and I'm able to let those feelings out and, put them in their place where they need to go, and carry through. And I think that's the greatest lesson that the art has taught me, is that anybody can do it. Everybody is creative in one way or another, even if they're at a loss of what that creativity is, or it's been so suppressed by, everybody around them, that it's like they don't have talent or whatnot. Like for me, singing, it occurred to me on one of your sing and signs, that was a love of mine that I had. I loved singing. I thought that I was going to be a singer when I grew up.
Yeah.
And it was when I was 7, I was singing a song and I was jamming out, and my mother said, "Boy, I hope you never sing, because your voice is awful," right? And so I never did. I never pursued it. Because I just had a terrible voice. So why even go that way, right? But arts I did. And so, like, I know for a lot of people, it can be a deterrent to try to even be creative, because they just either they don't allow themselves, or they have a fear of that they're not worthy of it, or that there's no way that they could be creative, and then they start doing it, and they see the joy that it brings, and the fun times that can be had when we come together to be creative.
Yeah. Thank you so much for saying that. There are people out there that maybe somebody looked at their artwork or their craft project, or they heard them sing or play the guitar or piano, and they said, maybe you should try something. Oh, I don't like it. Why don't you think about going off in a different direction for your career? You can keep that for fun, but I don't think you have it. And that stops them from doing it at all. That just stops them and blocks them. But that's why my husband and I, we do this Sing and Sign Sunday. We do it because obviously we're not professionals. We're just having fun, being silly, singing and signing, and making it a fun time, and showing others you can do this too. And that's what you're doing. And that's what you're sharing right now in being brave and being a courageous creative conqueror today, is sharing that message of, hey, I'm doing it. I'm encouraging my daughters, my family, to do it. And it's just to get out there and applaud other people, and do it within your family, and have fun, tune in, take the time.
Just be creative, have fun, let go. And then it seems to always just pass. There's that happiness factor at the end. So it's just
That's
a way
where the courage comes in. That's where the courageous creative comes in, is not listening to the mind saying, oh, you got to do this. Oh, you better do this. Just the courage to spend time with ourselves, feel,
and embrace that, and not to fear it, because sometimes we don't want to spend time with ourselves when we don't
it doesn't feel good. It's like, so then it gets worse. Then it's like up here. And then we start getting sick.
Yes. So there is times, this is a little secret, there'll be times where I just have, that emotional moment where I'm just I need to let it out somehow. And with the fibro, sometimes like a big long walk is not convenient or, you know, accessible. So sometimes I literally will just stop in my vehicle and get out of my vehicle and put a song on and dance to it. And
Yeah.
then I'm
Yes.
done. And, you know,
Yeah, just dance around,
right,
just stop, close your eyes, just do something goofy, throw something around, have fun.
exactly. And have an outlet and a creative outlet. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for your
Thank
time today. This has been great. And I know that there's people out there that really, really will benefit from what you shared and take it to heart. And maybe they'll take some time today, like you and I are doing, and just create and feel great. So thank you, Stephanie. It's been
Thank
lovely having you.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much.
And thank you, everybody, for supporting the arts and attending here today. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.